So if you want to support Mary, I want to encourage you guys to go to twc.health/Mary. That is twc.health/Mary for all of your needs, whether it's an emergency kit, a contagion kit, ivermectin, or just a second opinion. They have everything that you need to take care of your health at twc.health/Mary. And every time you use the MARY promo code, you're going to get 10% off your entire order. Now, I also want to tell you guys about an amazing new product, Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream. Now, if you're like me, you might be experiencing or noticing redness and rosacea as you age. And you could cover it up with makeup if you're a girl. There's not much you can do if you're a guy, or you could just cure it. And the Wellness Company has an amazing product, the Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream. If you've tried everything for your cheek redness or rosacea and nothing worse, it might not be your fault. The real cause might be deeper than you think. So Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream from TWC is a prescription strength dermatologist developed formula that helps to reduce inflammation, balance bacteria, and restore your skin's natural glow. It's a triple action cream. It combines 3 medical grade ingredients for absolutely powerful results. Azelaic acid to unclog pores and fade dark spots, metronidazole to control bacterial imbalance and redness, and of course, the superstar ivermectin to calm irritation and eliminate skin parasites that contribute to rosacea and acne. So together, these ingredients work to reduce bumps, swelling, and redness while supporting smoother, healthier, and more radiant skin. And right now, you'll get $20 off if you use the promo code MARY at TWC.health/Mary. That's twc.health/Mary. Promo code MARY to save $20 off plus free shipping as well.
So in the past month, 2 months, year, it seems like every time I get on X, I'm bombarded with messages from the executive branch concerning our health. And an under-recognized effort is how can we get people in the legislative branch more involved in this vital effort to get the COVID shots pulled off the market. I started a nonprofit a few years ago called Americans for Health Freedom, trying to recruit politicians who pass my vital litmus test, which is, will you publicly call for the COVID shots to be pulled off the market? It's a very simple statement, but it speaks volumes because it is a very politically risky thing to say. But today I have somebody from Iowa, and Iowa has not been on my radar, I have to admit, but all of a sudden they are big time on my radar. I have Jim Carlin, who is a former state representative and former state senator from Iowa, who is now running for U.S. Senate in Iowa. And he is one of the latest to sign our pledge calling for the COVID shots to be pulled off the market. So welcome, Jim. And I know you are you are in a huge battle. You are the grassroots, and you are battling an establishment candidate who seems to be very well funded. I was shocked when I looked at her numbers.
Sure.
But tell us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, tell us about your medical freedom views and how that is important to you.
Well, listen, if the government can force you to be vaccinated, I don't think there's any boundaries left. The reason why we have a constitution is the citizens of this country are not the property of the government. And if the government can mandate vaccinations, something that invasive, when, in my view, they weren't vetted adequately, and at least preliminarily, it looks like the numbers are speaking to that. The early indications from the VAERS database plainly show that this vaccination is unlike any other, and that should really concern us. That this boundary that we've embraced as a country is now being tread on. You can be forced to be vaccinated, and that isn't something we should stand for as a free people. And it also speaks to the establishment control of our political system. When pharma can write big checks, that translates into medical mandates and unvetted vaccinations, that the implications of that are beyond comprehension.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic, I don't know about you, but the pandemic was a huge wake-up call. I took all of those rights for granted, right? I never even thought about it until the pandemic. So in some ways, the pandemic was had some benefits in waking all of us up. And what I was looking at in Iowa, this shocked me, is that you guys passed a law against COVID shot mandates before Texas, February of 2024, and you were part of that effort. Was it difficult to get that bill passed?
I was not a senator at that time. I was involved in the original drafting of that very issue, whether it was vaccination passports, healthcare mandates, parental rights on issues of consent, and allowing parents to have their children evaluated by physicians, even if they had refused the vaccinations. Trying to get parents back in charge of their children's health care and out of the hands of the government.
Yeah, it's super important. Do you think that Iowa will follow Florida's footsteps and propose a ban on all vaccine mandates?
I hope so. I don't know that they're quite that far. I mean, that is certainly very encouraging, and the value of precedent on state legislation can't be overstated. And Florida's kind of set the standard for the rest of the country on what's possible and what should be done.
Yeah, they did that during the pandemic too. Texas was always 4 steps behind Florida with the pandemic. And how was leadership during the pandemic in Iowa? I mean, was your governor and how was Chuck Grassley, and what was the temperature during the pandemic in Iowa?
Well, I think it was what you would expect, right? The leadership is largely defined by their donors, and they were reluctant to do anything substantive or meaningful. The Senate Majority Leader I served under had little or no interest in advancing medical freedom boundaries aligned with the Constitution. It just really wasn't of any interest to him. And I wrote quite a few pieces of legislation, even something simple like, can we get some statistics on proximity of childhood and infant vaccinations, require that they be disclosed in a coroner's report? Like we often wonder about things like SIDS. Can we have a timeline so we can actually objectively look at whether or not there's a correlation between those massive schedule of I don't know how many vaccinations it is now. RFK was just working on this for newborns. Maybe, I'm sure you could speak to that better than I could, but you have to wonder if there's a connection there. And if there are adverse events and deaths, premature deaths, parents should know. And RFK has done a lot of amazing work on, his children's health defense network that he's done. To me, has a lot of merit to it, and the stand you've taken has a lot of merit to it. It needs to be advanced. What you've tried to do is so well aligned with who we are as a country constitutionally. It's a boundary we can't surrender.
I agree. And, medical freedom, people don't realize it is a test to our constitutional rights. And the pandemic brought that forward. In terms of what Kennedy has done, I definitely think it's a step in the right direction. I don't mean to be, I'm a little bit critical just because 5.5 million children have received the latest version of the COVID shot, and 5 more million, their parents have promised that they're going to inject their children. And it's just shocking to me with all the injuries, and I continue to see them every day. But I do agree. I mean, this is a step in the right direction. It's, 5 years ago, it would have been completely unfathomable that these kind of changes would have even happened. So I know you're up against a candidate that's been endorsed by Trump. I was looking at her campaign finances. This is Ashley Hinson. And a couple things struck me. Her top donors are political action committees, and the top political action committee was an Israel political action committee.
AIPAC.
Yeah, AIPAC.
That's right.
And then the other thing that struck me, and I just don't understand, WinRed was a huge contributor. What is that all about with WinRed?
That's just a platform for Republicans to make donations to candidates. So that's nothing really of consequence.
It's not the actual company donating to her. It's just the money's coming from there.
I think that's more probably just individual donations coming through WinRed. I could be wrong about that, but that's in all likelihood, that's the case.
Okay. But she is hugely funded by AIPAC, which, how about you? What is does AIPAC supporting you as well?
Well, I'm authentically an America First candidate. My decisions are going to be defined by that, first and foremost. I think the concern with AIPAC is that when you have donations that are that substantive, I think in Ashley's case, you just looked at it, I think it's north of $30,000. I don't really know that I agree with other countries being able to donate to congressmen and Senate campaigns, because, we take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, which of course it's the United States, and America First shouldn't be so hard to get to. And as long as it's understood that that's what's going to define my decisions, that's what's going to guide me, that and my conscience, of course. I'm not saying I would necessarily reject their contributions, but I probably would.
Right. Well,
and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, what issues, apart from medical freedom, what issues are near and dear to your heart, and what would you hope to change going into Congress?
Sure. Well, they all pretty much relate to freedom. They're actually very, very well aligned philosophically with the stands you've taken. I'm very concerned about the power and influence of the Federal Reserve over our economy, over the economic realities of, what we would term the forgotten man. The Federal Reserve is a big bank for big bankers. And it, in my view, has operated to the detriment of working class people. It's been geared towards, making the participating primary dealer banks. 52% of those banks are owned by foreign interests, and they basically define the value of a dollar, which should really concern us. There's no accountability. So people wonder why we saw this massive uptick in housing costs. It was directly related to the monetary policies of the Federal Reserve during COVID. You're a physician. I don't have to tell you how awful the outcome, the metrics on healthcare have been since the advent of Obamacare. The cost of the premiums, north of 200%. Most families, working families, have a very hard time seeing the percentage of their budget go from 10 to 20% to pay for health insurance that really isn't covering a whole lot anymore. But what's interesting, and I think what's noteworthy, is their premiums have gone up 200%, but the profits of the big five have gone up on average 230%. So the medical cost loss ratio narrative that's supposed to be part and parcel of premium increases really isn't authentic. And I'm also concerned about student loans. And, since they were mandated, or since they were not mandated, but came under the authority of the federal government, the interest rates have doubled, and the principal on the loans on average has doubled. It's now up to $1.7 trillion.
Wow.
And all of that is administered through private companies, interestingly enough. So you see this relationship with government that's facilitating monopolies, whether it's the monetary policy, the healthcare, education, to the detriment of the forgotten man, the middle class people, the working class families. It's not serving us. It's actually wreaking a lot of economic havoc on the people of this country.
Well, and so how do we break this up? I mean, I do think that we've become increasingly centralized.
Right.
And that's one of the things with healthcare. It's sort of killed the doctor-patient relationship. It's killed physician autonomy. It's killed patient rights. This centralization of healthcare. But as you were saying, the centralization of our monetary system and of our student loan system, and how do we break it up?
Well, I think the first thing, like just full disclosure, I would be in favor of a transitional end of the Federal Reserve. It's came into existence in 1913, the same year income tax was created, coincidentally, probably not. The value of a dollar has gone down 95%, and the predicate for its creation was to stabilize the value of the dollar. It's done anything but that. It's actually incentivized inflation for bankers, for big bankers. I'm not talking about local or smaller. I'm talking about the big boys. I think there needs to be Senate oversight, like meaningful Senate oversight. Right now, they don't have. They don't have to provide the numbers on the interest and on the loans that are made to the participating primary dealer banks when they get the treasuries. That's a real problem. And what you saw in COVID was all of a sudden, 28% of residential home purchases are now done by investors. Mm. And I don't have to tell you or anybody what that's done to the price of a house. Now it's taken beyond the reach of our kids. So I think, I think we need to look at finding a new way of doing this, not giving it unfettered control over the value of our currency. It has monopoly control over the retirements, over the salaries of the people of this country. And that's certainly not tenable with freedom. I think it's more Marxist or socialist in definition than it is about our freedom. You have to get free markets back into healthcare. Healthcare was not improved one iota by Obamacare. I think we all know that. It just created a monolith monopoly in healthcare that, as you said, and this is a reality, physicians have to get pre-authorization for basic diagnostic workups now. Mm-hmm. That's awful. I don't want a bureaucrat who was a C student in college making decisions on physician diagnostic workups. I think I'd rather have the treating physician do that. Thanks. And, now there's deductibles that are $15,000. So what exactly are you getting for the premiums? The federal oversight piece to our healthcare has not been, hasn't done anything of value to defend the healthcare, the well-being of the people of this country. And I think free markets are the answer. I think transparency. I think audits on the Federal Reserve and in healthcare. I think audits on how our kids are being treated by these private sector administrations of the federal loans. I think we need to go back to the way it was before, because it was a lot cheaper. It's now become a form of indentured servitude that needs to end. Those are just a couple things. And that's, honestly, I'm also very concerned about the monopoly trend that's already here in agriculture that's really hurting Iowa farmers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are excellent points. In terms of auditing in healthcare, I've been on a big push to audit these nonprofit hospitals. I mean, in Houston, hospitals are sponsored by the Astros. They're sponsored by every major, the Texans, the Houston Ballet, the Houston Grand Opera. And not a day goes by that you're not assaulted by their brand. I mean, a friend of mine texted me. She was at her school basketball game, and there was a Methodist sign in the gym of the high school. They're just everywhere. They're on the TV, on the radio.
Sure.
It's just everywhere, and they're not paying any property taxes at all. And I just don't understand how they get away with this. I mean, it's like blatant fraud. They're not treating the indigent. All the indigent go to the little hermit, the LB. We all know where the indigent go in Houston. They do not go to Houston Methodist Hospital. I can tell you that. So it just seems like an easy win in the fraud department. But thank you so much, Jim, for coming on.
That's interesting. I've not heard of that.
Oh yeah, it's absurd. When is the primary?
It's in June 2nd.
Okay. So we need to get the momentum going. And are you getting the word out? Are people catching on?
We are.
Good.
We are, the thing is because we have such a media-driven culture, we haven't really rolled out, we're keeping our powder dry, so to speak, on our capabilities, and in time we'll roll out what we need to roll out, and we'll get our message out. We're doing it now by getting around the state and meeting a lot of people and doing some social media stuff. But we're actually in a really good place. I think we're going to do very, very well, and I think people are going to be shocked to see the establishment candidate lose to a populist patriot guy who really is about representing the people of Iowa.
Well, I'm excited to witness it, and I will try to help you in that endeavor. So I hope everybody will follow Jim Carlin. I left his tag on the X feed. Follow him if you can. Donate to him. Even if all of my followers donated, just a few dollars, that would make a huge difference. You don't have to donate a lot, but at a minimum, at least just follow him on X and just give him some free publicity. That's, that just sharing his story, sharing his tweets can be helpful. So thank you so much. And we'll be following your campaign, eagerly waiting to see some good results in June.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bowden. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks.
And when we come back, we're going to talk to one of my Houston colleagues, Dr. Stella Immanuel, who is always a breath of fresh air. So in a few minutes, we'll talk to Dr. Stella. I'm very deliberate about the partnerships I form and the voices I amplify. My platform was built on defending free speech, even when it comes at a cost. I've been canceled, banned, and flagged more times than I can count. And at one point, my bank froze every dollar I had instantly, with no warning, no explanation, and no way to fight back. I learned a big lesson. There's only one thing, though, that they can never cancel: physical gold and silver. No bank can freeze it. No processor can decline it. No faceless moderator can switch it off. For 5,000 years, gold and silver have worked when every system failed, through blackouts, bank runs, and every kind of chaos. That's why, after doing my research, I've decided to diversify my investments with gold. And I'm very proud to partner with Goldco, America's highest rated precious metals company. They've been in business for 19 years with over $3 billion in customer investments and A+ ratings with the Better Business Bureau. If you go to drmarygold.com, Goldco will give you a free gold and silver information kit and up to 10% in bonus silver on qualified accounts. This is the most generous incentive in the industry. Real wealth can't be canceled. Take back control at drmarygold.com.
All right. What an amazing interview with Jim Carlin. What a wonderful, soft-spoken, normal, nice man he is. Why can't we have people like that in elected office? That was a great interview. We're going to be keeping an eye on Iowa. And yeah, I join in Mary's call to support these candidates, local elections, statewide elections. That's really where the action is going to be. So thank you to Jim Carlin. We'll be keeping an eye on that. We're going to get back to on call with Dr. Mary Talley Bowden in just a moment. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Dr. Stella Immanuel as well. I have been a fan of her for quite some time, and so I cannot wait to hear this interview. It's coming right up. But first, of course, we want to thank the sponsors of the Shannon Joy Show. And as you know, The Wellness Company came in at the very beginning and supported Mary and the production of this weekly show every Wednesday live on call with Dr. Mary Talley Bowden. Couldn't do it without them. And you can help Mary keep this show not only going, but growing by using her promo code MARY every single time you check out at the Wellness Company. So I want to talk to you guys about spike proteins. Man-made spike proteins are very tricky. They can slowly and secretly create long-lasting effects inside the body, despite people feeling absolutely fine. In a new peer-reviewed study, researchers tested the blood of 34 women and men, all who received the Pfizer mRNA shot, and every one of them tested positive for micro blood clots circulating in their system. These are stubborn, hard to break down clots that have been linked to lingering symptoms in both the unvaccinated and vaccinated, tragically. So the obvious question becomes, how do we detox these spike proteins? Well, nattokinase is a natural enzyme. It's been shown to dissolve up to 84% of micro blood clots within 2 hours in vitro, which is amazing. Even at lower amounts, it still reduced the number of clots, the intensity of clot signal, and the overall clot size. So what makes this even more important is that nattokinase has also been shown to break down the spike protein itself in vitro. So this means it's positively attacking the damage and the culprit simultaneously. No pharmaceutical therapy has shown to have this combined effect, which is amazing. You can get the spike detox from the Wellness Company, and they have created Ultimate Spike Detox. It's designed to support the body's natural ability to break down spike proteins and support healthy circulation. If you're concerned about getting the shots, and more Americans are waking up to this over time, you are going to want to look into the Ultimate Spike Detox. So you're going to head to twc.health/Mary. That's twc.health/Mary. Use the code MARY to get 10% off. That's MARY for 10% off your order of Ultimate Spike Detox. The Wellness Company, it's an amazing company. They support On Call with Dr. Mary Talley Bowden. We couldn't do it without them. And make sure you use those promo codes every time you shop at the Wellness Company, especially for Ultimate Spike Detox, so that you can keep supporting Mary and her efforts to bring the truth about medical freedom. So thank you all for joining us today. Back to the show, Mary Talley Bowden bringing in the Dr. Stella Immanuel, who is amazing. We'll see you in a bit.
Thanks, Shannon, and welcome Stella Immanuel, my buddy from Houston, who
Yes.
you have a bigger mouth than I do. You get, but you are always fun to talk to. It's great to see you again.
I know, you're like a fellow warrior, so it's always fun, Mary. People don't know how these battles go or what we do in the background. They just see the fluff out there, and but it's been rough for both of us, but we're standing, and that's great,
We are surviving, and in 2026, I intend to start thriving. So,
yes.
I think we've reached the turning point. I mean, how's your life going now? Are you still battling medical boards and defamation suits, and what's new with you?
Actually, it's been I think the last thing I got from a board was from Connecticut, but because I'm licensed in 8 states, and then I've had I think some things with Colorado, but it's actually usually just the same thing. But I'm glad, I think we share the same attorney, so we send them paperwork and everything. I've not really had any for a while. Texas board actually had me. Can you hear me?
I'm turning you up a little bit. I'm having a hard time, but okay, go ahead.
Because Texas board had me like almost every 2-3 weeks. I had a case. I've had like almost 30 board reports, but thank God that.
Wait.
that
How
has
many?
kind of
How
slowed
many?
down.
How many?
Maybe about 30 or more.
30
Yeah.
from the
Yeah,
Texas Medical
somebody-
Board.
Yes.
You
over
had
the
30
past 5 years.
complaints that you had to
Yeah.
respond to.
Yes.
What?
And yes. And but thank God, after a while, they will go through it, and it was exact same thing. Oh, you gave hydroxychloroquine. Somebody said it was crazy. Somebody said you're gonna kill people, and then they go through it and said, well, there's nothing wrong with it yet. You gave. The first time that I went through it, they told me that I did not give adequate consent. To think that they are giving COVID shots with
Right.
like blank paper. And then
Right.
they said my consent did not meet some standard. So we created it to meet whatever standard they had. So after that, every time they will give a complaint, we'll go through the same thing, and then they will dismiss it, then they'll give another complaint, we'll go through the same thing. So in my mind, I'm like, these people are just making me waste money, time, energy, paper, but it's been I've not had anything from the exact board for a little bit, so that's kind of like good. Yes. So
did you have to, well, did you go to the informal settlement conferences, or were you able to just get them all squared away just by responding to their inquiries?
Yes, it was just usually by responding to their inquiries. No, we responded, and there was one time that we had to go through an informal conference, but it was still dismissed. I never like really got, yes. The first one that we had like a warning that, we didn't give adequate informed consent. So it's been a roller coaster, but like I said, after a while you get used to it. That's the price we pay for having a loud mouth and standing for the people. So that's great. I mean, it's amazing to do the things that we've done. Yeah.
You're making it sound like no big deal. But when you get that letter from the Texas Medical Board, I mean, you know that feeling. It's a horrible feeling. You're like, okay, what is inside this envelope? Right?
And
you got 30 letters.
The first 3 letters had me panicking, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my license. What's going to happen to me? But after that, in fact, it didn't even matter anymore. Sometimes they will actually call me, Dr. Stella, you haven't responded to this. I was like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
That's how, after you've gotten 20, 15 of the same thing, it loses, usually you get a board report and you're terrified. Right. After you've gotten 10, it loses the same, it loses the effect. The terrifying effect. So after a while, I just like, okay, sure, I'll do it. Sorry, I forgot. I'll send it to you.
We should have a bonfire and bring all of our papers from TMB and have a big celebration.
Yeah. You just had TMB. I think I had stuff from Louisiana, from Colorado. At some point, Colorado threatened to take my license, and I had to practically threaten to sue them. I have stuff from Connecticut. I've had stuff from Ohio. I mean, it's crazy. But that's okay. That's the price we pay. And so I don't worry about that anymore. Now they all know. So I guess whenever they try to harass me, we go back. I send them the same paperwork all the time. So it's just that it's cost us a lot of money, legal fees, money that we've had to spend chasing things that do not make any sense. But we're here, we're standing, and we're still taking care of the American people. I'm glad for that. And now that, like I'm telling everybody right now, you've seen, we have this, I don't know, I'm in primary care, so I'm in clinic right now seeing patients like really wheezing, coming with flu symptoms. They are wheezing. I mean, people that don't have asthma, and I'm not talking about just mild. I'm talking about short of breath, I can't breathe, wheezing, and I'm giving them budesonide, mixing albuterol and ipratropium, Dionep, and they come out of there feeling better. And then I put them on hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, and just put them on our vitamins and minerals, and they do well. But if people don't treat these symptoms, it's going on and on for like a week or 2 or 3, and people are like having like deep bronchitis, chest cough. We had one of them. After he had it for 2 weeks before he came to us, we had to practically do a chest X-ray to make sure he doesn't have pneumonia. So we have to give him antibiotics and shots and everything. But if they come early, within a few days of having the symptoms, usually a treatment of Donep with budesonide and hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin usually knocks it off in a day or 2. So something is going on, and I'm telling the American people, don't wait till you get sick, don't wait till you can't breathe. If you go to our website, drstellamd.com, you can actually just order hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin in your medicine cabinet. You can get the vitamins and the minerals, put them there and use it. Go on the Sunday. During COVID, we used to tell, in the peak of COVID, we told people to take Sunday medicine. That's what we did growing up. where we took hydroxychloroquine or hydroxychloroquine or mefloquine or whatever weekly as an for malaria prophylaxis. Even when you travel to the tropics right now, they make you do that. So in the thick of COVID, we advise our patients to go on Sunday medicine. Either people did Tuesday, or whatever. So people took hydroxychloroquine, or some people took ivermectin, and they took it once a week. There are some people that still do that. But after it kind of piped down a little, we now advise people keep your hydroxychloroquine in your medicine cabinet, get on one of the vitamins that, either one of the vitamins with a zinc transport system. If you go on a marketplace, there's a whole bunch of vitamins that have a zinc transport system, either quercetin, elderberry, or ECGC, or echinacea. One of the things that will open zinc channels and allow zinc to go into your system and kill the virus. So we told people take those supplements daily, and only take hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin if you're going into a crowd, you're going on the plane, or somebody is coughing or are the sign of symptoms. But with this new virus going on right now, I'm advising my patients or people that are listening to go back on Sunday medicine, at least for the next 2 months till this goes away, where you take hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin on a weekly basis, and then you take your vitamins on a daily basis, so that way you kind of keep yourself healthy. So that's kind of what we're advising. And people that are like, well, we don't want you to have a bad flu, and then you're sick for 3 weeks, and then you end up with pneumonia, or end up in the hospital, or end up with like some COVID long symptoms. We don't want a situation where you don't go to work for 2 weeks because you didn't take precaution. So we tell people, be prepared right now. So if you go on our website, if you use promo code Mary, you can get a discount. But please be prepared. That is what I'm just like on the screaming. Be prepared right now. Get hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin in your medicine cabinet. Start taking it weekly and take the vitamins daily so that you can stay healthy.
What have you had any luck finding pharmacies that will dispense ivermectin without a prescription now that there's a law in Texas saying they can?
Yes, I have 2 pharmacies. One is Voss Pharmacy and the other one is Goodrich. These are the pharmacies that I worked with during COVID, because at the peak of COVID, like in 2021, at the peak of Delta, there was a time when at any time we had 2,000 patients waiting to see us. And then pharmacists will not fill prescriptions. So we finally did a clarion call, and we called mom and pop pharmacists all over the country. So we do have a network of mom and pop pharmacists all over the country that will fill ivermectin in any state. But the ones that we have in Texas, we have 3 of them that have been working with us in Texas. And I'm going to probably, how do I put this? How do I get people to get this? You know what? Text health, HEALTH at 53445, or send me a DM on X, and I would give you guys, if you text health, after we get off this show, I will send out a list of the pharmacies that you can go there. But they are in Houston, so all 3 of them are in Houston. So you can go there and just get ivermectin over the counter.
So it's Goodrich, and you said Voss Pharmacy?
Voss Pharmacy and Sealy Pharmacy, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'll actually put them on my X profile so that people can go there and get it. So yes, these are pharmacies that work with us. I don't know why pharmacists will not do it, but it's out. They should be able to do it. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think it's safe to buy ivermectin from India?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't say no. I don't think so. Why? I don't know, because first of all, you don't know who you're buying it from. If you have, this is what I'll say. Like I have one of my pharmacy friends that work with us during this COVID thing that has like, he has many pharmacies. He has pharmacies in India. He has pharmacies in Canada. He has several pharmacies all over the country, all over the world. If I know him and I'm like, okay, I called him, I said, Alpish, I need some ivermectin and they can get it for me, I would accept that. But to just get random pharmacies in India, a lot of people have been beaten that way. So I don't know. I don't think so. I think you're better off just driving over to Mexico and buying it. But people do this, and it doesn't. People, I don't know where they go get it from. Then they come to me to ask me how to use it, and I'm like, I cannot give you directions on how to use medicine if I don't establish a medical relationship. That's illegal. I can't just like, well, you have ivermectin and you do this. So yes, so we tell people, but I don't see any reason why anybody should be ordering ivermectin from India. There are many places right now where you can get ivermectin. many doctors have relented. Like I said, if you go to drstellamd.com, we're providing ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine in all 50 states because it is still under the emergency use, so the emergency declaration. So doctors can just prescribe it, they just don't know that. But we're also still having issues with pharmacies that don't want to fill it. At the beginning of this flu season, I was just prescribing it. I tell people, go get it. They'll go to HEB and the pharmacy will be like, no, we don't have it. No, we don't fill it. What is it for? What? I'm like, what? In 2026, you guys are still asking, what is it for? What's your problem? So I just basically send them to my mom and pop pharmacies that I've been working with for years, and then they are able to get their prescriptions.
Well, I guess, yeah, the patients taking it for cancer, though, they're taking such high doses and it adds up. I mean, in America, it's so much more expensive, even if you go to a compounding pharmacy compared to India. I mean, it's like India is just a fraction of the cost. Are you treating cancer patients?
I am not okay, let me put it this way. I'm not an oncologist. Disclosure. I'm not treating cancer patients per se, but I have found out that there are a lot of vitamins and minerals and herbs that can work for cancer. And when people come to me requesting ivermectin for cancer, I would give it to them at the regular dose. I don't do high dose. I've had some people that have had successes, which of course, we can't talk about because that will mean, but we have anecdotal reports. But this is what I'll tell people. If you just Google moringa and cancer, spirulina and cancer, lemongrass and cancer, mint and cancer, soursop and cancer, and if you Google them right now as we speak, any of these herbs have anti-cancer properties that have been done in the lab, but they have not had any human studies. And I don't know why.
Let's go over that list real quick. Moringa, spirulina.
Okay, I'm going to go. We put it together in one tea bag. It's called spirulina. And if you're out there with us, you can actually just Google it. Spirulina and cancer, ginger and cancer, turmeric and cancer, lemongrass and cancer, moringa and cancer, peppermint and cancer, soursop and cancer, hibiscus and cancer. Each one of these herbs, they will tell you they have potent anti-cancer properties. They've done studies in the lab, but they don't have human studies. And my question is, why don't they have human studies? You know what I'm saying? So what we did for people that are having cancer, we produced something that we call a cancer immune support. Even things like ECGC, echinacea, things like astragalus and cancer, N-acetylcysteine. So what we did is we put together, if you go on our website, it's called Cancer Immune Support, where they take our Revive, that will give them energy, and pomegranate and ginkgo and everything. We have Vara Immune Plus, we put N-acetylcysteine, and then we put a list of these 8 herbs. So they just make a tea, and then they add all the other things with it, and then they drink it. And if they want ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, we give them a good disclosure that, listen, we're not oncologists, we're not technically treating your cancer, we're just here to give you cancer immune support and give you some adjuncts to help you. We're not telling you to not do your chemotherapy or radiotherapy just so that big pharma don't kill us. But we know, and we have seen people taking these things and seeing it help their tumors. So we are putting together what I call a cancer immune support. It's called the Ultimate Cancer Immune Support that has 8 different herbs that have potent anti-cancer properties. You can Google it on NIH. And then it has our Revive, it has Vara Immune Plus, it has N-acetylcysteine, and take it. We tell people, take this for 3 months and see what it does to your tumor.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
Am I treating cancer? Technically, no. I'm providing cancer immune support.
Yeah, it's needed. It's a common question I get asked is, will you help me with cancer? And I have not really gone down that lane yet, but I will refer my patients to you.
Yes, and I'll probably sit down and show you some of the things. It's something any doctor should be able to do. Give them immune support. So if we cannot fight big pharma and tell them, no, stop poisoning people, we can give them immune support.
Right.
And eventually we will get studies, just like that eventually we'll have a lot of results back from doing what we do, and then we'll see. So
Right.
it's a work in progress.
What do you think of these new changes in the COVID? I mean, not in the COVID, just in the general vaccine schedule that the CDC came out with. I mean, you're trained as a pediatrician, so
Yeah,
this
I
is
would
your
say
area.
it's a win.
What are your thoughts?
We will take whatever wins we can get. That's
Mhm.
number one. We'll take whatever wins we can get, and that to me is a win. But I think one of the big this would make a game changer on vaccine. Number one, if they can hold physicians liable for vaccine injury, many physicians will read what they have in those vaccines. Because Mary, I know I feel bad about this, but for years as a pediatrician, I gave many vaccines, and most doctors don't truly know what's in the vaccine. They just come and give you the schedule and you follow the schedule. And then, of course, KidMed, Medicaid, Medicare, they will give you incentives to make sure all your patients are vaccinated. So they did that. They do that to all doctors. And that's crazy because looking back at it right now, that is bribery and corruption. So if they hold doctors liable for vaccine injury, even if, let's just say pharmaceutical companies, yes, but doctors, then all doctors will start looking deeply into what they're injecting in people. They have not. I think you guys sued the CDC, right? Was it you that sued the CDC because there were vaccines? Nobody has ever studied what the cumulative effect of 8 different vaccines given at one time does to a child.
Mm-hmm.
We know that SIDS is very common between the age of 2 to 4 months. Most of the SIDS happen within a day or two of the 2 to 4 month vaccine. Mm-hmm. We know that, and even though they say they don't know what causes it. So what I think will be the best action if they were supposed to, number one, they should take away all vaccine mandates. If they want us to see whether vaccines affect autism, we have a control population already, Amish.
Right.
If they want to see how vaccines concern allergies, we have a control population. It's called the Amish. If they want to see, what I'm trying to say. So what they can do is that they should take away all mandates. And don't be guilting and tell doctors to stop guilting patients. Because even when they take away mandates, many doctors are still guilting patients to taking these vaccines, and it makes the patients terrified because they don't know. So they should give people informed consent, stop guilting patients, and hold doctors responsible for vaccine injury. And then do a lot of education for parents. Like vitamin C, D, zinc, and elder. We have a gummy that has vitamin C, D, zinc, and elderberry for children. That will help your child for most RNA viruses. RNA viruses usually are sensitive to zinc, just like COVID flu. Things like Zika, dengue, things like even measles. They're all RNA viruses. We have ways to treat to build children's immunity against these viruses. And a lot of them are not that dangerous. The vaccines are more dangerous. The measles vaccine has caused more problems than the measles itself. You know what I'm saying? So, and they don't tell you that the same effects of measles can happen with the measles vaccine. So we need to start looking into nutraceuticals. If I were to give any advice right now to our medical training, is that doctors need to take a course in natural medicine, herbology, to take a course in seeing other things that can help build your immune system, help tackle things without big pharma. And this is something that we're going to have to do ourselves. Mary, I am doing a lot of courses right now. I'm doing a lot of training right now in herbs and stuff like that. We need to. Because, okay, see something like moringa. Moringa is a super herb. It can help with blood pressure, lower your sugar, cravings, and all kinds of stuff. And these are things nature created medicine for us. And then they took that all away. And then they are training doctors. Most of our doctors are just, like I said, drug pushers. And we need to be able to do both. I'm still a doctor. I'm still a physician that prescribes medicine when necessary. But we need to start combining allopathic and natural medicine and give our patients optimum immunity. That is what. So that will be healthcare. Right now, we practice sick care.
Yeah. Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we have to educate the next generation of doctors. And if that does not happen, none of these changes, I mean, I don't know, CDC can say whatever they want, but it is basically the people holding all the cards are the medical schools and the academic centers. They are the ones training the next generation of doctors. And if we don't make changes there, then it really doesn't matter. I mean, I think that, you and I will never take the CDC seriously again. I will never listen to anything they say. I don't really care how they change the schedule. I will never take another vaccine ever again. I will never recommend
another vaccine.
Well, and I will never recommend my patients get any other vaccines. I don't care what they say. And then on the flip side of that, the people on the other side don't trust the CDC either because they're changing their precious vaccine schedule. It really boils down to the education of the next generation of doctors. And how do we get there? I just don't know how. That's a huge endeavor because there are no medical schools that are teaching what we believe in. And so, the one thing we have, which we didn't have when we were in training, we didn't have the internet, right? So we didn't have access to any other ideas. We were just fed the information, and the public had to rely on the information that we were fed because they didn't have the internet either. So, but now the power is to the public because all that information is accessible. So we really, I think our best hope is just get the public educated on their own. And in terms of doctors, just hope that there are enough doctors out there that are willing to think outside of the box and willing to go beyond what they're spoon-fed in medical school.
And most of over the past 5 years, like I said, I've produced a lot of vitamins, minerals, supplements for different things that really work. Most of the things that I produce, I practically got information from the NIH. I remember when they were talking about monkeypox, I went and found out about Sericina purpura. It was on the NIH before we produced the pox defense. Most of the zinc quercetin supplements that I'm producing right now is from the NIH. All these studies, if you go to Google these studies, these studies have been done in the NIH. Most of these herbs that, like I said, moringa, soursop with cancer, it's in the NIH. They've done studies. They're just like, well, we've done studies with mice, with rats, we've done it with tumor cells in the lab, but no human studies. My question, and that should be everybody's question, why would they see soursop in the lab and see moringa, ginger in the lab, but no human studies? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if they do human studies and then they found out that there are simple herbs that can help people stay healthy, then they don't have the revolving door of their customers. So that's why I'm saying that people, you're so right. People have to get the education that they need. We as leaders, we as the voice of the people have to get as much education as we need. In fact, I'm planning to actually take a course in natural medicine, like go and do maybe a several months course in just different herbs and how they help to keep people strong and healthy. And I mean, look at hibiscus tea. Do you know how good it is? I mean, this stuff is so, it's mind blowing. And so we just need to take that leap. So that's what I'm doing right now. Like I'm producing supplements and herbs and stuff that will help people stay healthy, build their immune system. Our immune system has been attacked. We have right now the chemtrails everywhere. Remember this COVID spray?
I love that spray. Is that the throat spray?
Yes, it works.
I love that spray because there's nothing that helps a sore throat. And I'm not trying to push your product. I'm not getting anything financial off of this, but I do love that spray. It tastes really good.
It's a miracle in a bottle.
You what?
It's a miracle in a bottle.
I love that.
We call it a miracle in a bottle. It has neem. Neem can help like with gingivitis and gum disease. It has N-acetylcysteine that helps to break loose colds and chest from we know N-acetylcysteine is actually a mucolytic. It has mucorice, which is like lozenges and antiseptic for the throat. It has quercetin that will help open zinc channels. It's a miracle in a bottle. So these are the things that we're creating, and I'm totally like blown away by some of the things that I've learned. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. Well, I want to take that course with you. So you have to send me that information.
I'll let you know. Yes, okay. Let's do a course in natural medicine and be positioned to really help our people and and give people what they need. and practice healthcare. I'm tired of practicing sick care.
Yeah. Amen. Well, thank you so much, Stella. It was wonderful to see you again. And
Yes.
I love what you're doing. And let's stay in touch and partner up soon.
Always, Mary. So visit me on drstellamd.com. For your audience, if they need a discount, they can use promo code Mary and we'll give them a discount just to help them out. So let's do it.
All right. Onward.
All right, girl.
2026. Here we come.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Stella. And we will see y'all next week. Like I said, 2026, I have a lot of hope. We have some big lawsuits coming. 2025, year of the vindication. 2026, year of retribution. Here we come. So thank y'all. See you next week.